This ain't nothing for the pack. Got 16 sitting in the lag. Whole squad all dressing all black. Every single last one of them got my back. Hey, 20 of us, that's 20 goons in them. Ice cream whip, triple scoop. I got 3 strikes, ain't got to lose. When it's all on the line, what you gonna do? Come on, I'm highly favored.
It is a city that traditionally gets much less snow than its Buckeye State rival up in Cleveland, but we are under a thick blanket of the white stuff here at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Smith, his first carry, and he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Sony Michel, his first carry. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On second down, Michel, and he'll be brought down just shy of the 45.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
From the gun on third down, Murray. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence. He controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make checks, just like a quarterback would on offense to get them into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish, holding that to a minimal gain?
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Here's a 2nd and 7. And this one's incomplete. John Ross, the one he was looking for. But now it'll be 3rd down. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined. But sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it. When you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
To throw on 3rd down, Fields. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Myles Garrett, a milestone sack for him as it moves him past Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor, who finished his career with 132.5. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Fielded at about the 28. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
How about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
On the ground, this is Michel. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Murray now on 1st down. And this is caught. First catch for Keenan Allen. And he's got this down to the 35. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy.
And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. The D-tackle Sheldon Richardson came barreling in for the sack. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Now Murray throwing on 2nd down. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
A good number of coaches at any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
Dancing to his left. He may try and run for this. And he will be marked down short of the first as they get to him at the 29.
Well, partner, nothing comes open here, so he decides to escape out of there, and he doesn't pick up a first down, but he does gain additional yardage to set up a possible field goal attempt if they decide to go that route.
And this is just outside the right upright. It's no good, and this will remain a scoreless game.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And some nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys are a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3 and out.
And now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Come on, QB, come on. Hey, number 28, Mike, he's coming.
2nd and 5. He finds his running back, Mixon. Mixon hit, and the ball is out. And I think the Browns got it. They did.
Right there. 54 Mike. In your face.
A first down carry for Smith. A gain of 3, 2nd down. No score after 1 on EA Sports.
We got 4.
On 2nd down, here's Smith. And he's going to be met at about the 43.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. They control the clock, they control the ball. and that way you often control the game.
And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something.
Juice and ambitious effort, but it's well short, and this will remain a scoreless game. So 2 missed field goals for him now, and that's helped keep them with a big 0 on the scoreboard.
Well, it's not the only reason they have a 0. The offense has been bogged down a few times now, but it's certainly not helping the cause any at all.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to...
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
This interception will go on the record of the quarterback, but as a receiver, you've got to understand where you are in the field. Middle portion, you know it's going to come in hot. Square your body to the quarterback and be ready to make the catch.
Now a first down carry. It's Michel. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Murray. There's the Washington Husky. It's Dante Pettis. And he's got this down to the 35. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. On the ground, Michel. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves him needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is 3rd down. Throwing is Murray on 3rd down. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Geno Atkins got home that time.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
And out of bounds, sailed over, looked like right near the pylon. This one's going to be perfect. Directional kicking at its finest, right down at the 1-yard line. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. They're still looking at 0 on the scoreboard, and they're going to be hard-pressed to do anything with this field position as they'll start at their 1-yard line.
This almost feels like you're trying to climb Mount Everest because they could put together a decent drive, get a couple of first downs, maybe a 3rd one, and still not even get to midfield. That's a daunting task for this offense.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. And he fires one that's intercepted. Count for 6. He's brought down, but inside the 5. 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. Wow, so wipe out the INT, roughing the passer. What a disaster.
An absolute disaster, and you hope their lockers are not right next to each other for the postgame. Safe to say one is not buying the other dinner.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. Now Joe Mixon. And he loses the football a second time. And this is picked up by the Browns. And they will take over with a football just outside of the 10 at the 12-yard line.
Hey, I'm all about defense forcing plays and getting takeaways. But an interception and 2 fumbles in their last 3 offensive possessions.
Time to readjust.
Yeah, you can't just give all the credit to the defense on that. They've got to look in the mirror and take a blame themselves and figure out how to not do it anymore.
So we've got a challenge. Our referee's going to take another look on the tablet. He's going to be watching to see if the knee was down prior to the ball coming out.
I love what you just said there. You nailed it, because if the ball's shifting or moving before the knee or any other part of the body hits the ground, then that'll be considered a fumble.
Mixon with a first down carry. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 12-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Keanu Neal with a safety blitz for the sack.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Cut. 44 is the mic. 44 is the mic.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Fields. Going. He's got a man. Complete. He's at the 30. The 20. 10. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. John Ross, 91 yards, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Well, the game had been pretty uneventful offensively until that big strike.
No doubt about it. Almost felt like they were just going back and forth a little bit in the first quarter. But in the second quarter, things ramped up a little bit. Things jumped up. And you're exactly right. Going to make a highlight film or two. We'll be watching that one later on today.
That's fielded in the end zone. Now a hit and a loose football. And careless with a football there on the kick return.
And one thing I love about going to practices is trying to get around coaches and hear their catchphrases and what they really emphasize. We haven't been to a single one yet this year where a guy fielding a kick, you don't hear, tuck it away, tuck it away, tuck it away. And this time, they turned it over.
Ball security eluded him. The Browns drive about to get started. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Looking to complete it to Pettis, and he's got him. Give him 8 on the play, and that is going to set up 3rd and goal. They'll try to run it in. Michelle. So we've reached halftime with just the lone touchdown here. 7-0 is our score. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, not too many breaks ahead according to the radar. More snow on the horizon as we are back underway in half number 2.
That's it, baby. We're going to work.
And the punt team is out there. It's not fourth down. Maybe the cold weather here freezing their brain a bit. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They'll try and run for it with Smith. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. First down, Murray. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Not even a chance to pitch that one as he's swallowed up in the backfield. Now, after that last play, there's a Bengal down on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Murray now to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Geno Atkins able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. And I would say they went 3 and out last time, but actually they didn't even get to 3 and out. Still a strange decision to us here in the booth.
Yeah, let's hope they don't go 1 and out, but maybe, possibly, let's try and think with them here. Try and play field position maybe, turn the ball over, put it in the hands of their defense. Who knows?
You're a nice man. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. From the gun, a give to Mixon. And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Mike, check, 59. Check 59, Mike is 59.
2nd and 6. But he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
Tremendous coverage there. Just did not catch the football and complete the interception. But what do they say all the time? If he had really good hands, he'd be playing offense.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. From the gun, Fields. Got a man, it's Ross, complete. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 36.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
No gain there as he kept it himself at second down.
And one of the things that makes this play so difficult to defend is that it has so many options to it. And the quarterback has to go through them and fast. Do you hand it off inside? Do you keep it yourself? Do you pitch it to a trailing back? On this play, it's hard to say that he made the right decision because that play was swallowed up for no gain.
Here we go. Here we go. Man, read. I'm coming.
And they're going to go jet sweep here. This is Ross with it. They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And for the Browns, a nickel set here on third down.
Move. 3 down. Hey, number 28, Mike, he's coming back.
Operating from the gun, Fields. They're able to find Dorsett. And down inside the 15 he goes. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 13-yard line. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Looking to throw on second down. Fields. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
No, now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And the Bengals on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 16.
Mike, 44. Here we go, D. 44 is the Mike. 44 is Mike. Check. Here we go. Let's bring it. Let's go. Let's bring it. Let's bring it.
From the gun, Fields. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
A big one there. That gives him a little cushion and makes it a 2-score game.
Yeah, bled a little time off the clock, put some points on the board. It's not totally out of reach yet, but it has to feel pretty good to them right now because as a defender, you go out on the field and say, guess what? You can put some points on the board, but that won't beat us.
Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
And not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, well, guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the 4th. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. Geno Atkins able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line has had. One for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given them
into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
On first down, Mixon. Up from the secondary to make the tackle, Jalen Ramsey. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
44, Mike.
To throw on second down, Fields. He completes it to Burrow. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A Bengal first down on a 16-yard pickup there.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. They'll run on first down. Mixon. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Second and 12 at the 25-yard line.
Ready? 28. Right. Mike, 28. Come on, D.
Looking to throw on second down. Fields. He's going to have the hook up to Ross. The ball comes out, and this is picked up by the Browns.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the 4th. So they need to determine if that knee was down before the ball was coughed up.
And they also wanted to make sure that the ball was possessed as they were going through it, that the ball wasn't working its way free before the knee hit the ground.
Now the Bengals on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. But he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
First and 10 at the 12-yard line.
Back to Mixon on first down. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in. And all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is, first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Myles Garrett, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year.
Brings up 3rd down.
Now the Bengals on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 16.
Jim.
Oh, no, he lost the football. Oh, no, he lost the football. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
A 41-yard attempt.
And this one is going to just tuck into the bottom left corner as he gets it to go. And that'll push the lead up to 13-0. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
The Browns drive about to get started. And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down, so all hope not lost.
Not at all, because we were talking about the NFL, and teams can score fast in this league. Quick strikes, you're right back in it. You're exactly right. Keeping hope alive.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Murray again, 2nd and 10. Buying time to his left. And now he's going to use his legs. And he'll be out right at the 35. Nowhere to go downfield, but he's able to get out of bounds and stop the clock here with a first down. Late in the game, defense trying to avoid a big play. He's able to work out of the passing game, turn it into a run, pick up the first, and stop the clock as well.
And you know in this situation, everything is sped up. The intensity, the thinking, everyone's movement. But for a quarterback, he has to continue to be what we call a flatliner. Level in everything he does and read the clock, feel it in the pocket, and go at the appropriate time.
Throwing on first down is Murray. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Geno Atkins in there to drop him as that clock continues to run. To try again after the sack. Murray under pressure again, and down he goes again. Carl Lawson, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. That's complete to Smith. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Throwing now is Murray. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Bengals are going to get it back in terrific field position. On first down, Mixon. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
Again, it's Mixon. And oh my goodness, he loses it again. And I think the Browns got it. They did. Of course, they had the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
For the Browns, good starting field position as they have it 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. Now a desperation throw deep, and this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off near the 26, and they over at the 26-yard line. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. It's still 2 timeouts defensively, but even if they choose to use those, 3 kneel downs should be enough to get out of here with a victory.
And that's exactly what's being stated into the head coach's headset. Oftentimes they have a guy upstairs who monitors this at the end of the game. A little clock management 101.
So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals, and they did it in shutout fashion. Impressive.
Would it be too bland of a statement to say they didn't have the greatest day offensively? I mean,
did enough, though. Did enough, but yeah, you're right.
Most games, it wouldn't have been enough. So they've got to go into the locker room and applaud their defensive mates and say, guys, you really carried us today. We'll try and get you back next time. But as for today, you guys are nails out there.
So So for Cincinnati, it's an important win for their playoff hopes as they move to 8-4. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Miami Dolphins. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, there will be no perfect season here as the win streak to start the year ends at 11. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.
back up.